Hey all, how are we? I just started filming something on this camera and it died, which was not very helpful. So we switched over to the camcorder and we know the quality's not quite as good on this one, so I apologise. It is something that I'm going to look into, getting myself a proper vlogging camera and upgrading some of my kit, considering that actually I'm finding this a really useful outlet. I have seen a few people have viewed them, there's no comments or anything like that, that's not why I'm doing them. And it's really nice for me just to sort of look back, so I will look at getting a proper camera, I promise. You will try again. You will also have noticed there's no pink in my hair. I had to redo my blonde yesterday, so the pink will probably come next week. Just a little bit boring at the minute. So, how are we all? How's your week been? Mine's been naff. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really naff. So work's just been work, really boring, same old, going on. Thursday we all went out for a team building. So we went bowling and I worked with one of the PAs and we put a quiz together and it was really good. Everyone really enjoyed themselves. So that was really good. That was a fun day. But Friday nobody had any motivation to do anything, so note to self. Tuesday, going backwards, I went and saw Doctor Strange with the other half. Brilliant film. For somebody that likes DC and the Marvel kind of universe. I know they're not the same thing, don't question me on it. It's okay. I personally found it really slow. It's very different because it's a simple human being like you or I, transformed into this universe which theoretically I suppose could be out there now. Yeah, I don't know, and I love Cumberbatch, but in this film I just felt like he came across much more of an enemy, an evil person, not so much as a good, and that's not what he's meant to be portraying. Anyway, make up your own minds. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. I still loved it, I'd still watch it again, but it's not up there with one of my favourites. That being said, the whole evening was just a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It started 3/4 of an hour after I finished work, which I then meant I had to get from Eastleigh to Southampton in rush hour, which is very, very difficult. And I said to my boss that I want to leave a little bit early so I can miss the traffic getting out of our car park. And he said, that's fine, that's fine. And I got called away at the last minute, so didn't leave work till late anyway, so that didn't help. And then afterwards the boyfriend just really wound me up. So the film finished about 8:30, we hadn't eaten, and I said, oh, what have we got for dinner on the way back, thinking he'd not been at work that day, so he might have got something ready. Oh, I've got dinner for me but not for you, so you'll have to get something. Brilliant, thanks, really appreciate that. So we stopped at the fish and chip shop on the way back and he went, well, considering we're here, can you just get me something as well? I'm fed up of paying for you. I've been paying for you since you lost your job. I've paid for your holiday, I've paid for shopping in various times. Come on. So really frustrated with him. And then to make things worse, the next day I had a text message from him to say, oh, my gums are really sore, which he'd already told me, so I've taken the day off and gone to the dentist. Well, why didn't you go to the dentist the day you had off, rather than take a day off from a place where you've only been working for like a month and a half? I just wouldn't do it. Anyway, really good thing happened yesterday. So yesterday I went with my sister, my brother-in-law and my aunt across to Salisbury Playhouse to see the Wiper Times. Absolutely amazing. Anybody that loves World War I or Wiper Times itself, or wants to understand what how the Tommies physically felt, read it, watch it, go see it, just investigate Wiper Times a little bit. So Wiper Times, for anybody that doesn't know, is this book here. It is the famous First World War trench newspaper. So in 1916, Italian found on the Ypres border a printing press, and they started making their own newspaper. And the book here that I've got, this one, this book has actually bits of the newspaper printed in it. I don't know if you can see that. And it's paradoxical. It's all written from the Tommy's viewpoint, so it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's probably the best way of doing it. So that book there was published a few years ago, and then this here is the script. So Ian Hislop and Nick Newman took the newspaper and the story and have made it into a play. It was also released on the BBC. I'll see if I can see the DVD, I can't. Done by the BBC a few years ago with Michael Palin in. That's also very good, another one to check out if you can. This is the stage adaptation of it. Adaptation? Yeah, I think that's right. Which we saw last night. Really funny. It touches on like Civvy Street as well, so the feelings after the war, because it runs all the way through to 1918. And really satirical. It was brilliant. But last night was the last night of this run of the tour, and in snuck right at the end Mr. Ian Hislop and Nick Newman. So me being me, like I always do, approached Ian Hislop, got his signature, but more to the point, I wanted to ask him if I could put my own show of the Wiper Times on. So you'll know that next year I'm doing a load of work. We're going to put on a variety show. In here are some little sketches of like the advertisements or the articles written from the book, which can just be dropped in. So he said that I could do that, so I'm just literally waiting for an email from him that says I can do it. But it's really funny. Little songs that come along. If I can find one quickly, I will. That's a really long one. 5 fat Germans didn't like the war, 1 shouted to comrade, and then there were 4. 4 fat Germans tried to fell a tree, 1 fell himself, and said there were 3. 3 fat Germans feeling very blue, 1 tried to stop a tank, and then there were 2. 2 fat Germans walked into a gun, the gunner pulled the trigger, and then there was 1. 1 fat German alone without his men, another 9 recruits arrived, and then there were 10. It's just silly little comedy little parables like that. And yeah, it's just very whimsical. It's quite a nice insight to the Tommy's world. I won't go on about that too much. I almost dropped it. But yeah, brilliant piece of theatre. The other half was meant to come, decided he was too ill, so we actually had a free ticket. That was really annoying, because there were plenty of people that wanted to go and see it that I could have taken instead. My dad was going to, but he wasn't very well either, so that was really frustrating. But I just wanted to talk to you about something. My parents have just gone out to buy a new TV for Christmas. I wanted to talk to you something that I've been feeling this week, and then my mum said to me yesterday, it's about being a grown-up, and I said no, and I wanted to tell her that it's not about being a grown-up. It's I don't know, it really frustrated me. So this week I just feel like I've been let down by a lot of people. So I've spoken before about my mate that has just stopped talking to me. Well, my manager decided to have a conversation with him. He was going to address the elephant in the room, and he honestly said to her, it's not her fault, it's just because 2 people said something to me. And then he was questioned why he was then punishing me, and he went, I'm not, I just don't know how to handle the situation. Well, for one, you don't handle it like that, because you actually really upset me, but I just feel like I'm being let down left, right and centre at the minute from mates that I've known for a very long time. So I've got another mate who was meant to be helping me on a project, and every time it's an excuse, and I'm just a little bit fed up with excuses. You know, we're all adults. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Tell me that straight up, and I'll find another way of doing it. I don't have the best patience. So my website went live and I've not had any feedback, I've not had any emails through, and I don't expect them instantly, I really don't. it's just, I find it frustrating that I have to sit around and wait in a job that I really am not, you know, I'm not impressed with at the minute. Not that I'm not enjoying, because I do enjoy it and I do enjoy the people I work with. I'm just not impressed with the situations at the minute. And then the other half, that's another situation in itself. And I just wish that, you know, some days that you could click your fingers and everything would be okay. You know, you wouldn't have these, they are quite dark thoughts at times, I'm not gonna lie. And it's really difficult to explain that to somebody that doesn't understand it. For example, bowling. Bowling is meant to be something that's really quite fun and light-hearted, but for somebody that has anxiety and doesn't like to put themselves on show, it's really quite daunting. Because you have to step up whilst 5 people watch you. However, in this case it wasn't 5 people, there was 42 of us there, so there was 41 of them watching me. And in a kind of way judging me, and that was the worst place that I could have put myself in. And there was one point where I could have just quite happily sat in a corner and cried, and I could feel the panic coming, so I had to remove myself from the situation, which was really frustrating. And then in the evening, when we did the quiz, again, because I was helping out, I mean I wasn't part of the quiz, I was helping run it, because it's easier that way. I don't have to get involved and talk to other people, and then yet at the end when the boss says, oh, round of applause and thanks for everybody that's organised it, and everyone looks at you and you're like, shit, I should have just disappeared at that point. Which kind of made me want to just run away and hide, and I came home and I went to bed in tears for no reason whatsoever, and that's really frustrating. And I still don't know how to explain it, really. I don't know how to explain to my parents that, you know, sometimes when I can't sleep I take medication and lots more on top. You know, when I have a really bad day, I don't want to come home and you to turn around to me and say, oh, it's about being a grown-up. I know, I'm not stupid, but you saying that to me makes it a hell of a lot worse. I'm probably preaching to those that know, if you're watching this, because you'll have seen my anxiety stuff. I keep meaning to sit down and write and film a piece which is all about my past and my history, so that you know why at 26 years old I'm still living with my parents, because I have to live with my parents. I cannot be trusted to live by myself. And it's something I'll probably look to do in the new year now. There's lots of writing that I need to get done, so I'm going to sort of take myself off for a weekend by myself, take the cameras, maybe get a new one by then, and just sit and do a bit of vlogging, and then I will at that point in time make my mind up as to whether I want to go hard with the YouTube stuff and my vlogging stuff, because next year is a really big year for me. So 1st of December we've got an events evening where I'm going to put a committee together, and next year looks like February is variety show, March workshop, April trip to France, May workshop, June summer fete, and July is big exhibition, which I'm having a bit of a problem with at the minute anyway. So there'll be loads going on next year, and of course I've got a week and a half in America with my best friend, which we are so excited about. So for those of you who didn't know, because I don't know if I've spoken about this, a couple of years ago we were coming home from shopping in Southampton, and there were cruise liners on the dock, obviously, and we just said to each other, I'd love to go on a cruise, and from there we kind of went back to hers and went, this isn't possible, it's too expensive, That was 2 years ago, and actually when we looked, if we were to book a cruise for 2 years time, so the furthest out you could book it, it was £500 all inclusive for 5 nights in the Caribbean. So we booked it there and then, and slowly we've just been building on this trip. So we're going to do 2 nights in Florida, I want to say. I always get that bit wrong. 2 nights in Florida, 5 nights cruise, and 3 nights in New York, which I'm so excited, but I definitely want to vlog and film as much of that as I can. not just like to take you guys, but also for me and Vix. So she doesn't, all of her big holidays, and they haven't been because they're normally out to Australia, she's got family out there, and they're normally with her parents or her grandparents or her brother. This is her first one as mates, and we're so excited. There's loads that we want to go and do and explore whilst we're out there, and I just want to capture as much of it as I can on film. So I will look to do that as well. So I think come January I will have made my mind up how I want to do this, if I want to carry on doing it. I'm feeling it's really helpful for me, even if nobody is watching it or commenting, or it's going anywhere. It doesn't matter at the moment, at this moment in time. It's a really good outlet for me. But if you have got any views, if you are one of these people that has seen one of my videos and maybe to come back to see the next update, let me know what you think below, or drop me a message or tweet me. And yeah, I think come January we'll make a bigger decision, which actually isn't that far away. So Christmas is 5 weeks away, people. 5 weeks. And I need to start getting organised, because it means I have my first Christmas in 4 weeks time, which is when I go to Plymouth and I get finished tattooing. Yeah, so I get my phoenix finished and my arm finished, which I'll put some pictures up of once they're done. But yeah, slight panic mode setting in for Christmas maybe. But I think I'm going to leave it there because I've got work to do. So as I say, 1st of December I've got big events evening to put together, and we need an itinerary for France, so we're doing 2 days around the Somme and 2 days on the Belgian border to finish at the Menin Gate, and I need to plan in my part of it and get it over to Pete pretty quick. Yeah, that's like 2 weeks. Yeah, I need to get to work. So I will do another update next week. Update you on project stuff. I'm going to have a bit of a brainstorming session with my mum on Wednesday, because she's going to be on the events committee for me and take over a lot of that. So I'll update you on a load of stuff then. I hope you all have a really good week. I hope this week goes slightly better. I hope you're all very well, and I will see you again next week. Bye!